In 2024, we received 24 Commander Preconstructed Decks. Wow, what a coincidence, isn't it? Number 24 and 24. While some of them fell short, most of them did pretty well regarding the out-of-the-box experience, new cards, and reprint value. This video will discuss the 5 best and worst precon of this year. This is all based on my opinion and it can be subjective. Hi everyone, welcome back to Zap Zap Magic. I'm Darren and let's dive into it. Number 5 is Blame Game from Murders at Karlov Manor. This deck has powerful new cards and good reprint value. What I like about this deck is the Goat mechanic. Goat makes your opponent's creature attack other players except you. It essentially makes your opponent's threat become their problem, not yours, which I think is very funny. I want to shout out to these 3 new cards. Take the Bait is a very hilarious and deadly card, can allow you to redirect your opponent's attack to someone else. Prisoner's Dilemma is a fun card where spike play is encouraged. Most importantly, you don't take damage from this card. Trouble in Pass is a powerful card draw engine. Overall, I think this deck is very fun to play. You watch your opponents fighting each other and you enjoy the firework. Number 4 is Family Matters from Bloomborough. This deck has powerful and small creatures that benefits your commander. Here are the overperformed new cards and good reprint. This one is probably the best of all the Jeskai deck that Wizard of the Coast gives. I want to shout out to Jackrabbit that can produce many rabbits, which will power up your commander. Agate Instigator is another Perforos or Impact Tremor, and this card can be a win condition in this deck. Hollywalk Prodigy is a powerful card draw engine, and you just need to increase its power to at least 3 and you're good to go. Moreover, this deck has an infinite combo with Combat Celebrant and Helm of the Host, which is crazy to put in a precon. Number 3 goes to Quick Draw from Outlaw and Thunder Junction. This deck is perfect for any spell slinger enthusiast. While this is the only good new card, the reprint in this deck are insane. Veyran Voice of Duality is a powerful card. She can be your secondary commander too. Moreover, she helps to trigger your Archmage of Emeritus and Stormkill Artist twice. Wing Boots hasn't got a reprint since Adventures in Forgotten Realm. Seeing this reprinted here does make it affordable. I want to highlight tons of good instant and sorcery spell in this deck. Moreover, Nif Mizzet Parun is here too, which is a powerhouse for a spell slinger deck. This deck is the one that you go for if you want to cast tons of instant and sorcery spells. Number 2 goes to Tricky Terrain from Modern Horizon 3. This is a land matter deck where you play tons of lands and you get benefit from landfall trigger. These decks offer powerful land cards such as Talon Gate of Mandara, Planar Nexus, and Horizon of Progress. It also has good reprints too. Honestly, I thought Omu, Queen of Vesuva, is very cool. She gets to put everything counter on either creatures or land, and making them every creature type or land type. But I'm a little disappointed that they did not capitalize the creature type part for this commander. Most of the cards are based on lands only, which I think is such a shame that they did not put these cards here. Anyway, I think this deck is pretty unique. There are some lands like Locust that I never knew existed. Number 1 and the best precon of 2024 in my opinion is Endless Punishment, and this deck is from Dustmourne, House of Horror. Belgavov, Herald of Souls, is an insane commander. It is a card draw engine, he's hard to remove, and he has evasion which can fly over and hit your opponent. Not to mention he gets bigger and bigger every time your opponent loses life. Moreover, this deck feels very synergistic. By the way, the reprints in this deck are very valuable too. This is by far the best precon of 2024. Now let's talk about the 5 worst precon in 2024. Number 5 is actually two decks, Science from Fallout and Creative Energy from Modern Horizon 3. I put these two decks together because they have the same theme, utilizing energy counter. It's just that they have different playstyle. Let's talk about the Science deck first. This deck is a mess. The same goes for other Fallout decks. When I first saw Dr. Madison Lee, I thought this was an artifact-centric deck, but there aren't many artifact support cards. There are, however, tons of legendary creatures that do not synergize with this deck. Before the release of Modern Horizon 3, there are no consistent way of generating energy counter, which make this deck very clunky and inconsistent. The best new card is Nuka-Cola Vending Machine, which is a powerful card in a token-based deck. The best reprint in this deck are Panharmonicon and Lightning Greaves. Now let's talk about Creative Energy from Modern Horizon 3. I don't know if this is Wizards of the Coast marketing strategy, but hear me out. When they release a particular deck with several missing pieces to make it whole, they will print those niche cards in the following next set down the road, which I think this deck is supposed to be the solution to the Science deck's problem because of these cards in the deck. That being said, this deck is also trying to do two things at once, which is very unfocused. On the one hand, you're trying to be artifact-centric. On the other hand, you want this deck to be a creature-based aggressive deck. I suggest you remove all the artifacts and put them into the Science deck and add more powerful creature. The best new card is Kate, Fame Mechanist. The best reprint are Professional Facebreaker, Ghostspan Dragon, Achroma's Will, and Farewell. Number 4 is Most Wanted from Outlaws at Thunder Junction. My main issue with this deck is it is supposed to be an aggressive deck, which requires creatures to stick on the battlefield, and they are very susceptible to either single target removal or board wipe. After a board wipe, this deck could not recover. A little Boros Charm is not enough to protect you from multiple removal. The best new card is the Face Commander herself, Olivia Opulent Outlaw. The best reprints are Academic Manufactor, Boros Charm, Command Beacon, and Lightning Greave. Number 3 is Death Toll from Dustmore, House of Horror. This is a Golgari self-milled deck, so reanimate any permanent card from your graveyard. I find this deck to be very slow and vulnerable to graveyard hate. Winter have Death Touch, and when he attacks, you mill 3 cards, which is honestly very slow. Moreover, why do you need to exile those cards and return one of them to the battlefield? This is so weird. Luckily, the deck is packed with many different card types that allow you to achieve Delirium quickly. The secondary commander, Renmo, however, is much more interesting to build around. By the way, if your opponent casts Farewell, this deck is doomed. The best card is Polluted Kristen. This card is insanely strong, especially with a mill engine. The best reprints are Reanimate and Whip of Erebos. Number 2 is Peace Offering from Bloomborough. This Bond Group Hug deck gives your opponent card draw and invasion to your creature. If this ability triggers for the second time, you get to draw 2 cards. My problem with Miss Bumbleflower is that she triggers on every spell you cast. This leads to tons of decision making, and it's even worse when you're in a 1v1 situation where you are forced to give your opponent a card every time. This deck is not beginner friendly. You have to balance out the benefit to give between you and your opponents. The best new cards are Blood Rock Apothecary, Temp with Bunnies, Purge Protection. The best reprints are Colonial Hydra and Swiftfoot Boots. Coming in at number 1 is Deadly Disguise from Murder at Karloff Manor. This is a Naya deck that utilizes the disguise mechanic. House, Eye of the Clade is a very awkward commander. First of all, the face down creature must be turned face up, attack and deals combat damage to a player, and then you could draw one card on the same turn. It is such a specific condition to draw one card. Also, you can only turn face down attacking creature face up. The condition is attacking, which is so annoying. I want to point out that you have no way to put any creature face down on the battlefield other than disguise and morph creatures. Moreover, Chaos doesn't give any evasion to those face down creatures, making it hard to damage your opponents. That is just so bad. The best new card is Chaos Eye of the Glade himself. The best reprint, surprisingly, is Jessica's Will. I feel that they print Jessica's Will here in this deck so that it could sell. Without this card, this deck is unsellable. That is all for this video. What are your best and worst precon in 2024? Please let me know down in the comment section. Thank you for watching, you guys, and have a great day ahead. Bye!